The site was completely off level, but this 40x60 metal building with 3-foot overhang and fiberglass insulation has a lot to talk about. Let's check it out. Welcome back, Pack. This is Adbil from WolfSteel Buildings, and we're out here in the San Antonio, Austin area, and we're about to check out this beautiful 40x60, especially that overhang. I know is catching your eye, and yes, we're gonna talk about what it took to do that, but there's something here that is like, man, this is a perfect example of why site prep can cost a lot, okay? And that's what we're gonna talk about, because this site is just
very challenging.
It's very, very challenging. That's the word. And my man, Ed, behind the scene.
Let's go.
It's hot, man.
It's a hot one, man. Earlier today, we were in this little area, and it was a little cooler over there, but now, man, the sun came out, and whoo, it's burning up.
That's why I'm loving the hats now, because the hat's giving me a lot of shade. You can see it right now. Yeah. That's what you need to get.
That's what I need to get for Christmas.
We need to go to the stockyards this weekend. But you ready for this one, man?
Let's go, I'm ready. Yeah,
so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all our YouTube channel, because we got really, really cool builds. I'm not sure when this one's being produced, but we just did one in Salado with great inspiration. And that build was very inspirational. And we got a lot of projects like that are coming up. Alrighty, guys. So just if this is the first time on the channel, bear with me, because I am not great on acting or doing this whole thing. Yeah. But I like talking about metal buildings, so that's what I can provide. And two, our marketing team, shout out to our whole marketing team, they're going to be posting the pricing as I'm talking about those items. So like the concrete, the building, the accessories, all those are going to be popping up again if you're interested in a metal building. That way you kind of understand, oh, well, this is what the range of a price is. Gotcha. Do keep in mind that prices will vary based on location. Here, we're just talking about how the site can really dictate the price of concrete, especially concrete work, but also the area. If you're in the Houston area, Corpus Christi, Galveston area, all that area, you're next to a lot of wind. So buildings have to be engineered and built differently, okay? So just keep in mind, prices do vary by location. Yes. And again, we only service Texas, certain areas of Texas.
Yes.
Have you seen that? We've had some
recent comments, yeah.
Yeah, some comments like, you know, you should have been, I thought you serviced all of Texas. And I'm sorry if my message was wrong. We service parts of Texas. We only service Texas, but we also only service parts of Texas. Okay. Do you know why, Ed?
I mean, that's a great question now, Bill. You know, I feel like there's just certain, I guess, perspectives that you could probably put in there, but I don't know, maybe because we are in Texas only.
Well, the main reason is because we're a general contractor. We don't just sell online and ship all over the country. We don't do that. What we sell is what we build. And so in order to do that, we need to have control. And so with control means that we have to be able to get to the site and see if there's something wrong. We need to rectify it. We need to make it right instead of just selling online. But yeah, that is another point in the sense, like, I think you were answering more in the sense of like why people are leaving those type of, those
type of comments.
Not negative comments. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we can't service your area.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Here, guys, from drone footage, you're going to see, and I don't know if the drone will really show the elevation. Yeah. But there's such a high elevation going down that from the corner of this building to the other side, it's about 3 foot. We're going to talk about the building. Yep. But right now I'm just focused on the concrete work. So it's about a 3 foot elevation drop for 2,400 square feet. That's a lot of dirt. That's a lot of fill that has to be brought in. So the 3 foot drop, you can see, so all the water that's coming from the top of the property is just coming up, and it's coming and trying to land right here under this, like right here at the back side of the building. The gable end.
The gable end of the back side. That's why what we did here is that we have our foundation 4 inches above grade. Okay, that's our starting line. Okay.
Why is that? Why is that?
Yeah, so like all this water that's coming down here, it might puddle up here. Especially
wow.
like here in Texas, it rains like crazy, and like you can have what do you call it when like flooding.
Oh,
and so
wow.
you at least at a minimum 4 inches, because keep in mind the finished floor elevation is not right here where the base trim is, but it's over here about 1.5 inches because it's got that lip.
I see.
Oh, we do our own concrete work. All our panels are sitting at 1.5 inches below the elevation, and therefore no water is going to be seeping back in there.
Very smart.
Okay, and that's the number one enemy of any construction, and especially a metal building. You know, water getting into the building. Okay,
wow.
So I know there's been questions like, okay, well I did my concrete too big, or I have water coming in through under my panels, and how do I solve that? You really can't solve it unless you cut the concrete. You can't really put silicone. If you put like some sort of silicone or something like that, it's just going to be a temporary fix. It's a band-aid. The best way and the best way to solve any water seepage under your panels and even around your doors is through the perfect concrete work. Maybe not perfect, but a great concrete work that is done in a specific way to prevent water from seeping in. Okay, and here we have, again, the finished floor is about this height. Here we got a notch. The panels are sitting on the bottom, and there's no water that comes in.
Gotcha. And then I guess another thing is the base trim as well. You know, obviously you've mentioned in a lot of videos, the concrete's not always going to be as flat.
It's impossible for concrete to be level, straight. That's impossible. Why? Because when you pour the concrete, it's going to cure. When it cures, it's drying. Okay, it's impossible to control 2,400 square feet of drying to stay at a certain like perfect level.
I see.
You know, the curing time is like 28 days. So in 28 days, what you'll see is that your concrete can have small little dips. Okay, and so when you run your panels, you're going to run your panels straight. You can't run them in small little dips and make little cuts. You just can't do that. What we do is that we set a base trim. The base trim helps solve a lot of problems. Number one is no critters can come in. You can see here there's a critter. Try to go in. Try to go in. Try to go in. Oh, it's trying. It's trying, and it can't go in there. You know? Go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Perfect example right there.
Perfect example, okay? And number two is because, again, the concrete's not going to be level. It covers for those imperfections. And then another one is it redirects water away. If we didn't have the base trim, you would see concrete here. And so water is still going to, it could be sitting there. You know, this is just getting the water and then redirecting it away.
Wow.
So there's so much advantages to having the base trim, which is standard on all our buildings. Like that's what we offer standard for all our buildings. I would say about 80% to 90% of our builders competition do not offer that. Look at other metal buildings out there online and like just look if there's a base trim. And you'll see that some do have it and some don't. And some call them a rat guard or rat something. But it's very common in the pole barn industry because that way it's supposed to like prevent rats from coming in. Again, the ribs here are about 3/4 inch that it comes out, so that's the gap that it creates, or like the crevice that it creates.
I see.
So critters can come in, especially if your concrete has a small little dip. The critter can try to come in there.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Now, another thing to keep in mind is for the concrete work, it took a lot of site prep, right?
Yep.
So we got that fact out of the way. The concrete work, just the concrete, was probably 50% of the cost of this whole project.
Really?
For this one, because all the dirt work that we had to bring in, and then keep in mind where we had the dirt work, we always go into undisturbed ground. So our footers have to go off levelness plus 12 inches minimum into undisturbed ground. So if the off levelness over there we said is 3 foot, we're going 3 plus 12 inches around 4 foot, all the way around.
Wow. Why is that?
Why? Because number one, if we just left it in the air and like we just brought fill and put it all the way around, that footer would eventually like settle. When the concrete gets poured, it settles. Really? Because any prep or any site, alien soil that we call like bringing in dirt from somewhere
else,
that's not going to be as compacted as well as right now the way this ground has been for many years. So what we want is the footers to go touch that ground and sit on something solid. You know, think about it, instead of hanging in the air, you're standing on solid ground. That's what we want our footers.
Gotcha.
Because the moment you pour the concrete, it's gonna settle. And if it settles with something solid, you're not gonna see as many cracks.
Okay.
Because then it tends to. We have stairs. We have an approach here.
Yes.
Which is another thing. I know we're trying to stay away from the sun because it's really, really hot.
So is this custom as well, or is it something that, like the approach, is that something you would probably have to add with a site like this, you know?
If you're buying a property and, you know, one of the things when you're going to construct on it, keep in mind how off level the ground is, your elevations around your property. You should take that into account to determine if you want to buy the property or not, because it's going to cost you a lot, whether you build a home, you build something, because everything has to be level.
You're right.
You know, or you're walking in a home and you're like kind of in different elevations, it's going to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
So when you have multiple entry points like doors, the elevation is continuously dropping from here all the way down. So what does that mean? That where this door, maybe the elevation's right about there, but from there it was like 2-3 inches, 3-4. Here we're already like 5-6 inches.
Yep.
So in order to access from here onto here,
that's a big drop.
Yeah, unless you have a Jeep Wrangler that's lifted or a lifted truck, a Texas truck, maybe you can get access. But just,
not a Tesla.
It's not gonna be not a Tesla, not a Tesla. Maybe a Cybertruck.
There you go. Okay.
But you do need maybe an approach.
You
can do that approach in a cost-effective way, which can be just dirt, but then you can have erosion. And then all of a sudden now you got to deal with that, right? Or two, you can do concrete nice approaches that give you a nice smooth entrance point from that area onto the elevation of your doors, the finished floor. There's a lot of things I can talk about the concrete work. There's the price. Now let's get to the building. Okay, so you ready for that?
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Currently shopping for a Texas metal building? WolfSteel is Texas built for Texans. We don't just build structures. We build for hobbyists, business owners, car enthusiasts, or anyone who needs or wants a custom metal building where things get done. Red iron or tubular, bolt up or weld up, site prep, concrete, demolition, insulation, gutters, custom doors, cedar add-ons, masonry. WolfSteel does it all in one place, so your project gets done the right way with control. We're control freaks here. And here's the difference. Our clients don't choose us because we're the cheapest. They choose us because every project goes through multiple checks and we don't hand it over until it's done right. Don't take it from us, take it from our endless reviews. Keep in mind, we do not service outside of our service area. We do not provide just materials and we do not provide just metal building kits. We don't do standalone concrete or standalone spray foam. We do full turnkey Texas metal building projects. If you fall within our service area, contact us today. If not, I hope that our channel helps you with your future metal building project. So overall, this is a 40'x60 metal building. It's got the 14-foot to the eaves. I believe it still has the standard 312 pitch, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, a 312 pitch means that for every foot that you go in, you go up 3 inches. Okay, so if you have a 612 pitch, you're gonna see more of a pitch that goes up. And do keep in mind, what we have here is a 3-foot overhang all the way around. So overall, you're getting kind of like a 46'x66 roof line.
Yeah, wow.
Roof line.
And what is, I guess, would be the purpose for that overhang? It's something we're starting to see a little bit more, but not a 3-foot one. This is the first one in the channel.
This is the first one in the channel that has a 3-foot. I think we had a 4-foot one, and that one was on a red iron engineering.
Yeah.
But let me talk about what problem does an overhang solve. Why should someone do an overhang, right? One is you actually get a little bit more shade, and you can see it here. The sun is directly above, and you get a little bit more shade. Okay, that's one.
Okay.
Two is when it rains. It will rain, and if you don't have an overhang, with an overhang, I could be standing here, just enjoying the rain and just hanging out, maybe smoking. I don't smoke, but you can be hanging out, and you could actually smoke, and you got your
smoke still,
the
cigarettes still light up,
and then the water is not falling on you.
I see.
Okay, so you got an overhang to walk around your building. The other thing I was gonna say is that the overhang also directs water where it falls over here, but that's if you don't have gutters and downspouts. gutters and downspouts actually help control and redirect water, which I'm about to talk about, which helps with a lot with erosion, which was your initial question.
Yeah, you're right.
And then another one, which is a myth, that metal buildings are just rectangular box. Yeah. And that's a myth, okay? We're gonna bust it right now because this 3-foot overhang makes this building spectacular. It gives it a nice edge to it that makes it more residential and custom. And really just stand out, because I know from the drone footage, this is really like a nice pop out design, makes the building look really, really cool.
Yeah, very
even
different.
The downspouts, the way it's
all together, it seems. I think it just gives it a very sharp aesthetic look.
Aesthetic look.
Yeah.
Than just a box metal building. But I'm also gonna bust that you can do so much customization, especially with weld-up buildings, which I'm going to talk about the interior and the inside, about what is a weld-up, what is the difference between a weld-up and a bolt-up, and I'm going to talk about that when we're in the inside. But weld-ups have so much flexibility. This is a red iron weld-up, and it has a lot of flexibility to customize and do a lot of different things, because it's all fabricated on site and can be put together as far compared to something that's prefabricated. Then at that time, you're just kind of putting a puzzle piece together, and so it could be some limitations. But we'll talk more about that. What I want to talk about, guys, is what it takes to do a 3-foot overhang. What it takes to do what we see here, okay? And marketing, help us out. What is the cost of this overhang specifically? Just so we can see the price, and let me explain the reasons for that price, right? For a 3-foot overhang, just imagine that the panels on a 40'x60 end at the 40'x60 line. But we got 3-foot all the way around, which makes this overall roof line 46'x66. So basically that's 6 foot extra. So that's additional material that goes all the way around on the roof panels.
Wow.
Okay. Now slap that on the bottom too. We also have a reverse PBR panel, which is what you're seeing from under here. That's another panel. So all the way around we have at least around, like, say 6 foot going all the way around of panel. Additional material. But then we also have to weld a extension beam to the main frame.
I see.
And that cutting and welding is additional work, right? So now on top of that, we're adding another line of purlins to be able to bolt panels onto it, under and over.
Wow.
Okay? And then on top of that, now we got some trims that go around it that are custom made for overhangs that are not normal standard practice. And then tack on that about a day for a 3-man crew, maybe about a day and a half, maybe I could say about 2 days for a 3 to 4-man crew to build that overhang. That's labor costs, and labor is not cheap, you know, especially great labor, you know. So, and I always say, nowadays, all contractors, we get the material from like the same spots. We all get almost the same price of material. So the material is gonna be, if you're comparing, materials are typically gonna be the same. So what's left over is only their overhead and the labor cost. And labor cost is gonna be one of the biggest ones. So whether that labor cost is low, that means that type of quality will come out, or the higher quality will come out. So just kind of be aware of that. Obviously, more expensive does not mean higher quality either. So it's just really vetting the values of your builder. I think that's really what I would recommend when searching for a builder, because I know whether you buy from us or not, or you're looking at our channel from a different, for a different state, it's really more of valuing what are the values of the builder and see what they can offer you. So what I do want to talk about is the erosion, erosion control. So the beauty of the gutters and downspouts, which in red iron buildings, we make them out of the same material as our sheet metal, 26 gauge panels, which really help for hail, because here in Texas we get a lot of hail. You want something heavier, definitely 26 gauge. And then we got the PBR panels, 40-year paint warranty. Out of that same material, we cut pieces to create and form the gutters and the downspouts. That's why the colors match exactly. Does that make sense? And that's only for red iron products. It's almost like you're just paying 2 for 1. Like it's already part of the whole aesthetic complete trim package.
Gotcha.
It's like combined. And with gutters and downspouts, if you didn't have that, you would have a trench all the way, well, this at 3 foot, all the way along here.
Yep.
And that trench is from when it rains, it just starts digging into your ground, eroding your dirt. And especially when you have a lot of alien soil or like fill that you brought in from outside, it just starts eroding, and then sometimes it gets under your footings. With downspouts, you can control that flow of water, okay? The water's falling right here, and you can tell our client did a great work with like stonework to actually just allow water to flow here and just slowly just spread around, and therefore protecting the foundation. Remember, this foundation is not cheap, so you want to also maintain it.
I see.
I know I want to talk about another thing is like landscaping.
Yes.
So a lot of times when we come and do the foundation, we're going to bring a lot of fill that is used to set a foundation. It's not necessarily fill that where your grass is going to grow quick or that is resisting erosion, okay? So you have to budget for like say sod, or in this case what our client did was put some rock. I would even put rock all the way around. Really? And I think it's cheaper. It's a little bit more cheaper than sod and less maintenance. Okay. This is my opinion, but I've seen it done with a lot of projects, and I like it. I like the rock all the way around, and it protects the foundation.
That's a great point. Thank you for that.
This is burnished slate, right? I always say that burnished slate is like brown and gray had a baby, and burnished slate came out.
Right.
Wait, that looked wrong. And then we got the ash gray for the panels. Yeah. I'm assuming the roof is burnished slate.
Yes, yeah, that is correct. The roof is burnished slate. Yep.
What I love about the way the client did the color choices, the trim for the roof all along is all burnished slate.
Yep.
The downspout, he chose a specific color, which is the ash gray, which gives it like a nice edge cut or edge to it, and then obviously it matches with the with the wall wall panel. Now I know we're not moving forward this way because we're waiting on the but we can keep walking. So again, there's rock. We're waiting to talk about the roll-up doors.
Yes.
So our client has 2 roll-up doors, and I'm assuming these are going to be 12 by 12 because the eave is 14. You can see there's about a 2-foot drop. They're tall. These are roll-up doors. These are made out of steel. They roll, and I'm going to show you guys how it works. This is a chain-hoisted roll-up door.
I see.
They, from a 10 by 10 and smaller, you're going to see a latch on the outside. That's just pretty standard in the industry in general. And then anything bigger than a 10 by 10, so like say 12 by 12, 12 by 14, there's no latches on the outside. No. It has to be chain-hoisted, controlled. And the reason is because it's too big. It's too big to manually operate and heavy.
Gotcha.
Pros and cons about roll-up doors. One is they are cost-effective, okay? If you're just using it for like storage, your building's just a storage building, just something where you're putting your stuff in, you're not here every single day, this door will do good, okay? You don't want to spend money where it's not needed to be spent. Okay, so that's what's good about this. The negative side of roll-up doors is like right now, you can see, you will hear that rattling. Okay. So
it just comes standard like that.
That's just how roll-up doors are. At least these. There are roll-up doors that have that are made differently that where you don't. They're a lot higher, but they're gonna cost a lot more. In that case, an overhead door might be a better choice because you're gonna get a great door for a great price.
I see.
Okay. One thing that has helped with the roll-up doors is the brush seals. Yes. It helps to keep it a little bit more pushed back and minimizes the rattling, but it's still possible. The reason why we do brush seals on all our roll-up doors, which by the way, 90% of our competitors do not offer brush seals as a standard option. So it's a line item in our pricing breakdown that you want to look out for, because if you really check out there, that's #1 complaint of a roll-up door is like, I get so many bugs or critters or light coming in, and it's because you don't have any brush seals, and brush seals are sold independently from the supplier of roll-up doors.
Okay.
They're independently sold, so just keep that in mind. You can see here we got our special trim that we do on all our windows and all our doors, where the water that's flowing here is falling here, and then it drains out here.
And is that something that we just started doing?
We've been doing this for a while for Red Iron. Yeah, we've been doing it. We transferred where we started doing our nice, beautiful U-trims here on our tubular buildings. We were using a different type of trim that most industry does. We turned it into a U-trim. And then the J trim out here. This is really important for water because water tends to fall behind an L trim over here. But since we have a U trim and then the J trim, all this water is being redirected because of this same trim that's sending the water out here and front here.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So an L trim doesn't do that. So that makes our tubular buildings different. Our red irons, there's builders out there that don't put this U trim, so you can actually see and you can drive on the streets and see red iron products that don't have a trim here. So you see the red iron steel.
I see.
Out there, you can see it from the out exterior.
Yeah.
This gives it another aesthetic, nice, clean look, and also protects from the bare steel that's out there. I know we've had some clients say, "Hey, why is this white right here?
Can we not paint that?"
I mean, we can, but it's not going to be as clean. We're working on something.
Yeah.
We're working on something. This is just standard, though. This is standard across the metal building industry. It's standard to see this, the white, because the paint is only on one side of a panel.
Yeah.
The rest is all being like bent and broken down. And think of it like paper. It gets like... And soon, I want to get a tour done with our supplier where we get our materials from. If they're open to letting us showcase how the roll formers work. They're called roll formers. And so that has been a question, and now that we're here, now that I'm talking about it, I got a lot to talk about. Again, the number one problem with metal buildings, and I'm being very real. I think lately I have started to think, you know what, let me just be very, very real, because everything has its pros and cons, okay? Concrete will crack, and metal buildings, they can leak. Okay, why? Because you look at from here how many screws this has.
A lot.
For this project, we had hundreds, maybe even into 1,000 of screws, and they're all being penetrated all around here. So one screw can leak, and I'm going to talk about that when we're in the inside.
Awesome.
But your windows are one of the main challenges where they can leak, because again, this is steel, so it's not like flexible, it's like hard. So when you cut and mold across that, it's gonna be really hard to and you can see here, show the bottom of this. Yes. So you gotta do really nice cuts. You gotta silicone this. It's a craftsmanship thing. And so water will find its way, especially here in Texas, how it rains. Having window leakings or having leaking under doors and windows or doors, it's a possibility if it's not done right.
I see.
So I'd rather you tell me that you have a building that doesn't leak than a building that maybe aesthetically is not great. I'd rather go with functionality. So we focus on that, and that's why we're really proud of how we do our trim work to make sure that the window, especially there's so many windows. How many windows have?
I believe it's 9 or 8. I believe it's 8.
Look at the amount of steps here to rise.
Yeah, that's almost as tall as me.
Oh my God, that's funny. But you know what? It is tall. This is about 4 feet. So we got a lot of elevation right up to my waist.
Yeah.
That's how much the drop has been dropping, and it still drops even more.
Yeah, insane.
It's insane. This is crazy. You ready to go in the inside? Because it's a pretty hot day.
Yes. And it's up September still, so it's still very hot.
This is our steel door again. It's insulated. It's hot here. Been getting the, I can only put my hand there and then here I can keep it on.
Oh, wow.
Insulated in the inside, steel door. Come on in. By the way, it's a nice, beautiful 40'x60 metal building. This is 2,400 square feet. It's still hot in here because although we have a 3-inch fiberglass insulation at the top, which definitely is keeping it more cool,
I see.
But we don't have insulation on the walls. And if you touch the wall here, holy, no, it's hot. I wish I had the where you
the
can
thermometer,
temperature.
the temperature.
But this is burning hot.
Yeah,
it's like cooking.
You can put a steak on there.
I put a steak right now, bro. And you can see the thermal transferring over here because this is also hot. Wow. So there's the thermal transfer because it's touching, it's transferring the heat up to even the purlin.
Okay, that's why insulation is extremely important.
Gotcha.
And that's why the fiberglass really helps here, but also why maybe spray foam is also a great product because it really, you know, keeps this cool where it minimizes the thermal transfer. Especially if you're building barn dominiums, there's a way to do it where you can install maybe like a zip system, or you can install a certain way to make sure you minimize thermal transfer, but that is a whole different topic. I'm not gonna talk about it. First, I'm not a great expert at that, but I do have an understanding. But a couple things I want to talk about here.
Man, the concrete.
The concrete work is really,
job.
really good. The finish is really, really good. It doesn't have any cracks. Again, we're in the San Antonio, Austin area. The ground is really solid, so there's not a lot of movement around here. So that actually also helps. It's a 5-inch with internal cross beams, and then it was poured back in like May, June.
Yeah.
It was still not hot, so it allows its nice cure time. When it's hot, we need to be watering it to slow down its curing process. But at the end of the day, guys, concrete's gonna crack at some point. Here we just happen to have a nice unicorn, really good concrete work.
Awesome.
Here you can see how we did a nice non-detail. As I was mentioning, our concrete is at a higher elevation. So any water that's trying to come in, it's not gonna you know, try to access here. It's not going to. I mean, unless it rises about 1.5 to 2 inches, that the finished floor is above the elevation.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And we did that all the way around, and that's where shout out to our planning department, where we plan all this out. We basically say we build on paper and we just come out here and we execute. Our team that's building out here doesn't have questions. They very, very rarely are asking any questions or reaching out. Why? Because it's all on the piece of papers, which is all the architectural plans, the designs, all that is planned out way ahead. So out here, there's no ifs or buts or, oh, I thought this or I thought that, which is common in construction if you don't have a good plan.
I see.
Okay? Perfect. So that's for the concrete work. For the metal building, a couple things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
You have some questions, throw them at me.
Yeah, so this is a red iron weld-up, right?
Yes.
So I guess what would be the difference again when it comes to a bolt-up? You know, how would I go if I'm looking towards a bolt-up building as well? Talk to me about that, Amber.
Yeah, so almost everything that we can talk about comes back from its origins. Okay. So we have a lot of welders in Texas, maybe from the pipelines, you know, so there's a lot of welders out here in Texas. So that means that weld-ups became popular as a method of building metal buildings, okay? So a weld-up is basically welding up a structure that is a metal building. We fabricated everything on site here. We got the raw pieces, we cut them, created the pictures, welded, and put it all together. Probably seeing some shots. Shout out to our coordination team, Javier and James, that were out here inspecting the frame before the panels were coming in here. We got a lot of pictures. A red iron bolt up, on the other hand, is different. That one's pre-engineered. So basically the kit is almost the same materials are fabricated in a warehouse, and then they're brought in here and we're just putting and bolting together. So the connection is the difference between a bolt up and a weld up is basically the connection.
Gotcha.
But here's the thing, here's the catch. Weld ups in general are gonna be non-engineered. There are a lot of areas of Texas that still don't have any restrictions. There's no governing, body that comes in and says you can't build that. Then weld ups have been common because you can just go, to a local hardware store and just buy some purlins, buy some and weld it together. Let's go. Yep. And so for that reason, most weld ups that are out in the market are non-engineered, and pre-engineered bolt up kits are engineered. There's a stamp behind it. Therefore, for a weld up versus a bolt up, you're going to be paying about a 10 to 15% difference in its price.
I see.
As far as the sheet metal, as far as the purlins, almost all that, they're all basically the same. Do keep in mind though, a weld up can be engineered. We offer engineered weld ups where basically an engineer gives us a plan, and that's how we build our buildings. Yeah. Pretty much to engineer standards
based on how we've ordered plans in previous projects.
Gotcha, okay.
I hope that was a good...
That was a great explanation. I'm like, okay, now I see why, you know, it could be a tiny bit more expensive when it comes to a bolt-up engineer.
A pre-engineered bolt-up, because you're getting an engineer involved, and therefore, I mean, especially if you're doing a residential, commercial, we only do engineered buildings.
I see.
That's it. Peace of mind. You're buying something where, you know, people are going to be in there and all that. So, you know what? Let's have a third party that makes sure that we're doing the right thing and that the client's also protected, and making sure that what you're getting is going to be a great investment and last for a lifetime, and that your family or your business is taken care of.
I see.
Again, the rattling can be possible for a roll-up, but then again, no, it doesn't take up space. They're so compact. They'll last you a long time. I'm going to show you guys how. Right now, obviously it has its latches here, right? So, and then on the other side, that's why it kind of raises here. But I can also put pressure where I can lock it in here and put pressure so there's no lighting or critters coming in through the bottom. And then they have tension, so if I let it go, it'll start going up. So you see that? They'll have tension, and we can adjust it. If you want more, if you want less, we can adjust the tension to have more or less.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Since we're out in the wild, I don't want to have it open because I don't want critters to come in here and you know, live rent free. Again, this is all welded. We got 12-inch beams, 8-inch purlins on the roof, and I believe we have 6 inches on the walls. Then another thing I want to talk about is the foam gap enclosures. I know you were asking me about that.
Yes, I wanted to ask you real quick about that. So obviously he got fiberglass, but he didn't get spray foam. But why are the foam gap enclosures so, you know, important?
Important. Okay, so as you notice that critter that was trying to, and it was actually in this wall. They were trying to come in, right? So if it goes through the base trim, because again, base trim is still steel. Okay, those critters will come in and they'll be living in here rent free. And I don't think you want that. I don't want that. I don't like critters inside my home, right?
I see.
That helps. Okay, that's what it's for. It also seals the building so you don't have really any air. However, you still might want some sort of ventilation in here, a long term in some sort of way, unless you do it through, you know, through an HVAC system or some sort of that way, right? But this seals your building where you're not really having any airflow, okay? Because the panels have a lot of corrugation. Now, the foam gap enclosures are required when we do spray foam, okay? So one of the beauties about spray foam is that expands. It's like a liquid and it expands and then it bonds with the panels, so it seals. But the negative about it is that it will expand and find its way out. Once it dries and cures, it's hard to take off. I see. So what we don't want is the spray foam to go outside of the building, and then from there to take it off, it's just ugly and it's messy. Foam gap enclosures is insurance, because just imagine how many, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We didn't have them. Our spray foam team would have to fill those gaps, but even then, if they miss something and then it leaks, you're not gonna like it. I promise you're not gonna like it. And hopefully marketing can help us out, like some pictures of oozing out of spray foam.
I see.
Again, it has its benefits, but then again, it's also, when you look at the price, just keep in mind, there are 3-foot sections. You're putting 1 by 1, and it really delays the time.
I see.
Okay. So our client actually has this window open. I can feel the breeze, and it feels great.
Yeah, he has 9 windows. So you get that good natural light, but also
good natural light. I think it's great. Yeah. I mean, right now all the doors are closed, and if you can see in the camera pretty good, I think it's a good natural lighting.
Yes.
This video, I felt like I could talk a lot more about the technicalities of the product. I know I haven't done that quite often since we've been doing a lot of projects where there's so many cool features. Inspiration. This one is a lot about the technicalities of the product. So beautiful building, by the way. And we were just talking about it. It looks like just bare, you know, we got sheet metal, we got beams and whatnot. But you can build almost anything in here. And then because of the beams being completely open, it just allows you to build it out just any way you want, because you don't have any columns in the middle. You know, possibilities are endless.
I mean, coming from Salado and checking that building over there,
I mean, it's almost identical, kind of a little bit like this. Obviously, the lean-to, the gable in section, but this you can almost have like the same layout. You can build it up how you want it. And
this was basically the project of Salado with nothing.
With nothing.
That client got really creative and created something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And that something was spectacular. You don't want to miss out that video, guys. It's a red building with light stone. I'm not sure if it's produced after this video or before, but it's gonna be right in that. You don't want to miss out. Alrighty, guys, so to finalize this video, let's talk about the pricing, okay? So the total price for the building was this, and then the total price of the whole project was this. There are some exclusions, again, that will vary based on your property, based on your project, that, like for example, site prep is definitely gonna be very custom. What was paid here might definitely not necessarily be what you would pay for. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's delivery, installation, and the whole thing, okay, because that's what we do.
The whole shebang. Okay.
Yeah, the whole shebang. So that is the total price, guys. Now tweak it off a little bit. What is a cost-saving option? What do you think? Should we give them a different type of product?
Yeah, Ed? For a tubular, same specs, almost a 40'x60, right?
Yeah.
What would be that price? Let's give the viewers what that price would be.
And that's going to be shown right now on the screen.
Without that overhang, for sure.
Yeah, do keep in mind, overhangs like these are only done in our red iron products. It's just the red iron product has a lot more customizability, and for that reason, we only offer it in red iron. But for tubular, let's just say without the overhang, and you still want 2,400 square feet, similar doors, similar windows, what would be that price?
Yes.
Awesome, guys. I know this video was jam-packed with a lot of information. I really hope that I answered a lot of questions. And other than that, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Pack! Stay up to date with everything we're up to by checking out our social media. You can find us at WolfSteel Buildings for behind-the-scenes actions. We share our latest projects, updates on what the team is working on, and all the exciting progress happening in real time. Don't miss out on the action and give us a follow.